Number 2, bought makeup at Bloomingdale's to update her slutty flight attendant look. One awkward moment for Sarah Palin at the Yankee game. During the 7th inning, her daughter was knocked up by Alex Rodriguez. Had a wonderful time. The toughest part of her visit was keeping Elliot Spitzer away from her daughter.
Okay, circle. Should David Letterman be fired for comments like that and his lack of apology? A guy named Imus was. He ended up really learning his lesson by being on a bigger station 6 months later. But Imus was fired. But Leno made a very similar Palin joke, and no one really noticed. And I'll tell you that in a second. But let's reintroduce our panelists. SC Cup as well as Julie Menon. First off, Julie, do you think that Letterman should be fired or just taken to the woodshed?
I don't think he should be fired. Listen, as a mother, I will tell you the joke is totally offensive and tasteless, but it's a joke. He's a comedian. And we've got to remember that it's not a political opponent making this joke. John McCain made a joke about Chelsea Clinton, questioning her looks, questioning who her father was, saying her father was Janet Reno. I mean, yeah, I think that basically he shouldn't be fired. And he did apologize and say he wasn't talking about the 14-year-old daughter. He was talking about Bristol Palin, the 18-year-old.
But she's still a slut. Is that right, SC Cup?
Like, that's any better. I love that defense. I'm not talking about the minor. I'm talking about the barely legal daughter. Horrendous. I'm really not interested, though, in trying to eke out an apology from David Letterman. I want some leadership on the left, a Hillary Clinton, a Michelle Obama, a Barack Obama, to come out and say, I don't condone the way that this woman, this United States governor, is being talked about. No one stood up for her on the left.
And no one stood up for her in her own campaign, but John McCain will be on next hour or in 2 hours to talk about how he feels about these jokes, and he was roasted by Letterman. Here's what Leno said about Governor Palin and just skated by. Governor Palin announced over the weekend that her 17-year-old unmarried daughter is 5 months pregnant. And you thought John Edwards was in trouble before. Now he has really done it.
This is comedy. I mean, first of all, you might find these jokes offensive, absolutely, but it's comedy. It's not political opponents making these attacks. And you've got to remember, Hillary Clinton was subject to the same kind of attacks. You can say as a society, you know what, we're not going to allow this kind of speech, but it's free speech. I mean, what kind of country do we want to live in?
You're right. That's why I'm not advocating for an apology or for firing. I think that's irrelevant. You're right, but I don't really want to live in a country where we talk about a U.S. governor and an accomplished mother of 5 in these kind of terms by calling her a slutty flight attendant. I don't like that, comedian or not. You're a human being.
Over the kind of jokes that are acceptable and not acceptable.
I never said anything about censorship.
You can't, but that basically is what it is. You're basically telling people what they can and cannot say.
No, I want leadership to set the example. I want the leadership to set the example.
Is it true, Julie, that Hillary Clinton was basically attacked when she was running against Barack Obama? Now she's in the free and clear again.
That's right.
Well, she's in the free and clear, but she really took the brunt of the attack. She was attacked for what she wore, for what she said. She was attacked for her daughter, for her marriage, and she really stood up and took it. I mean, I think that she did not have a thin skin at all, and you have to admire the way that she was able to put herself out there and focus back on the issues. She wasn't engaging in a fight with different comedians. I mean, it's sort of beneath Sarah Palin.
She didn't have to. She had women's groups behind her doing it for her. Palin doesn't.
Exit question with CBS behind him, a major corporation backing Letterman show. He just got a new 2-year contract, and he's the anchor overnight. Now he's dead even with the Tonight Show. What's going to happen this week?
I think he's going to have to come out and say, you know, one more time, it was a joke, I didn't mean it, and that's it.
It's a ratings bonanza for him. I mean, it helps him in the ratings. It helped Bill Maher, what he said. I mean, that's really what it's about. It's about boosting their ratings.
I guarantee you all 5 days this week there's going to be references to Governor Palin and the feud, but he's going to try to keep it tasteful. Talk about tasteful. SC Cup, Julie Menon, great to see you.
Thank you for being here.
We're going to toss to 2 fine people who are always tasteful. Gretchen and Steve in the green room.